What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. I've been getting asked for a long time now, exactly how do you progress in Onslaught with the original 4 heroes, and more importantly, how do you deal with Frost lanes when all you have is the original 4 available? And really, it comes down to every other aspect, just like Onslaught, and it's looking at the mobs that are there and the mutators that are present. So let's start right off with the easiest of all the Frost lanes, and that is the Hex Frost Throwers. Now, just having Throwers in the title, this Hex Frost Thrower lane is not going to get Frost Orcs. Now, Frost Orcs, in my opinion, is the biggest thing that can hurt you in Onslaught, as Frost Orcs are kind of the cyborgs of Frost mobs. The Frost Orc will cause an AoE freeze around itself without attacking, just an aura that it rolls with to any defenses in the area. Now, if you have a Cyborg and Frost Orc lane, this would be the absolute worst thing you could do, is sling a bunch of auras down the middle of the lane. Now, since Cyborgs and Frost Orcs are not present, this lane is just kind of easy mode, as just a few auras will get the job done. You see I've got a Frostbite tower here with some frosty power on it to even increase the damage of those auras further. And if you watch here, this Frost Thrower lane will just completely evaporate as the baddies come rolling in. There's just nothing to it with a Hex Frost Thrower lane. Now, like I said, it does come down to looking at the lanes. Just look at the lanes, look at the mobs, look at the mutators. Of course, mutators come above and beyond everything, so if you have a mutator that conflicts with how you intended to build that lane, then make sure you change your build, because it's just not going to work. Now, the Hex Frost Thrower lane, of course, easy mode. We all got it. Spam some auras, go AFK. It's all good. Let's move on and check out a few other types of Frost lanes. Here we have a Frost Vanguard Whomper lane. So from the top down, we've got Cyborgs, we've got Vanguard, so we've got the shields. Now, just those two mobs mean we have Chaos 1 and Chaos 2's special mobs right here on this lane. Now, in addition to that, we have Frost Orcs. Now, between the Cyborgs and the Frost Orcs, you are not going to want to put any ground traps, auras, or nodes. It's just going to be bad. Now, with the Frost Orcs in the mix, they are also going to freeze these flamethrower towers. However, I chose to go with one blockade and 4 flamethrowers on this lane. So we've got, 190 total DU spent on this Frost Vanguard Whomper lane. Now remember, since it has the name Whompers in the title, that means that Frost Orcs can be present. They might not be there in Wave 1, but by the end of the map, if it says Whompers on the lane tag, you're going to have some Frost Orcs. Now, in addition to that, further on down, we see this lane has Power Block, which means my regular attacks, my normal left click and right click, are going to be doing increased damage. So it seems like this would be the smartest lane for me to DPS in as well. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. Now, Frost Orcs, of course, they have a perimeter defense. It's not like the Cyborgs where they have to attack. It is an AoE that just projects from them. Each Frost Orc that's in the area is going to slow your tower by 25%. Yes, this does mean that if there's 4 of them, it will completely stop any defense from hitting. So between the Cyborgs and the Frost Orcs on this particular lane, throwing anything on the ground is definitely a no-go, and I really have to expect that these flamethrowers are going to get frozen up a little bit by those Frost Orcs. Now, if it didn't have the shieldies from Chaos 1, a smarter move, instead of spending 160 DU on these flamethrowers, probably would have been 5 cannonball towers, as 5 cannonballs will really get the job done. However, with those shieldies in the mix, it just seems like that is not a good idea. Skarnash put a little hurting on me there. And here we are in the throne room, floor 59, with our third Frosty example. Now here on this map we do have 3 frost lanes. We've got a Timmy's Revenge with Kursakazi. Now even though it has Kursakazi, the easiest way to deal with Timmy is just to spam Flame Auras. It is just about the most effective defense out of the original 4 heroes for a Timmy's Revenge lane. And although Kursakazi is going to put a little bit of a hurting on things, I'm still just going with the Flame Aura spam. Now let's take a look over here. We have a Frosty Zerker fodder lane. Now, of course, the lane tag is named fodder, which means there could be Frost Orcs present, and it would probably be a bad idea, even though there are no cyborgs, to do an Aura spam build on this lane, as those Frost Orcs will just freeze those Auras up and make them completely ineffective. So on this lane, with the lack of any sort of shielded mobs, I'm going to go ahead and just spam it up with the cannons. We got 6 cannons here. These cannonballs are using Deadly Strikes, Power Transfer, and Heavy Cannonball, and boy, they just pack a punch, no doubt about it. Now over here on this lane, we have Frost Lava Zerker Whompers, which of course Whompers in the mix means we have Frost Orcs, and quite a bit of them, 18 of them there. You see we all are also going to have some Cyborgs rolling out. Then we've got the Lady Orcs, or Berserkers, and the regular Frost Goblins. So this lane, although it is quite the meaty lane, I'm rolling with just 1 Poison Dart Tower and 3 Flamethrowers. Unfortunately, these Flamethrowers are not even upgraded yet. So between Kursakazi and this lane, these should be my weakest lanes. So this is where I do want to do most of the fighting. However, we will take a look at all the lanes that are available. In fact, let's start right off with that Cannonball Lane. And we see the Frost Orcs are just getting pounded right as soon as they come out of the gate, and oh yeah, they're getting beat down. Now they're progressing up, they're getting closer to the wall. However, they just don't stand a chance against that many cannonballs. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. We see the Berserkers did make it past those Flamethrowers. I'll get a little hero DPS in the mix here. However, it looks like most of the mobs are dying there. And in the Timmy lane, of course, Kursakazi will cause a problem on this one. However, I'm confident that the Auras will still hold strong. Now, having my 2 weakest lanes right next to each other is definitely a benefit as well, as I can easily swap back and forth between these lanes, or wherever I'm needed. And it looks like this lane is just about clear, so let's go ahead and head up here. Get just a little bit of an assistant over here. The Flamethrowers are getting frozen up pretty good now. You see here they are completely stopped, so I need these Frost Orcs to die before the Flamethrowers will come unfrozen. Now, I did put the Poison Dart Tower in the back specifically because of that. So the Poison Dart Tower is out of range and not getting frozen up, so I don't have to worry too much about that. So hopefully this helps everyone understand how to deal with Frost Orcs. And like I mentioned earlier, it is really all about just taking your time, building the map slow, and looking at exactly what is going to come out at you. So that will do it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. And I will be back soon with more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.